Stalking in helicopter. 5:44 p.m. and this is the light source in alignment, and that's a demon stalking in the path as you've seen them doing day long. That's called light activity. All 59 units are systematically engaged in facilitation with the state, and all 59 units are filled with third parties who are going to federal prison. And all the minor children who you see engaged in criminal surveillance right now by crossing a path and maintaining presence in the path, they're all going to be removed from the custody of the people of the state who are engaged in 24-hour criminal surveillance and state terrorism, and also sexual violence of epic proportions. Sexual violence that's committed by a public entity engaged in criminal surveillance. This is the light source that is in alignment to my bedroom. The entity is engaging what this is demonic. I want to be clear. The entity remains. You see the engineered light that was spread across my bedspread on my mattress, as though sunlight's ever going to pierce through at an upward and then at a downward trajectory, spreading across the bedroom wall while the blinds are closed, while it's remaining over 215 East C Street in Ontario, California. You saw that light source as I already captured images of it as I walked into my apartment. You've seen that light source at the same time as I've been capturing it day in and day out. The entity keeps this light source till after 7 p.m. And you're looking at the evidence of what the exact same thing that the LAPD did. First of all, they're exhibiting to the world the fact that they're a demon-infected agency, and because of that demon possession, because of that disqualification from being in law enforcement, which becomes legally relevant upon revelation that the government is group stalking, demon possession becomes legally relevant. I want to be clear, it's grounds of disqualification, and this is exhibited while the entity is stalking, because that's exactly what you're doing in the specific environment. You're stalking, and you're stalking in the most unheard of method, speaking to your mental illness, and that department is flying over in relevant position while the light source is hovering over me, and the light source is over me in an entirely different region. And the entity is also engaging with flying over my head, group stalking in a helicopter. That's the Ontario Police Department. I cannot make that, and that's what I mean with regard to the inability to manufacture the information, the evidence that is the P.O.C. Okay, that is the inability to create the circumstances and fabricate the consistency of the evidence. All I'm capturing and revealing to you at the same time is the demon possession of an entire population, the malicious criminal conduct of an entire population, and that which is occurring in a very readily identifiable environment, which is entirely unnatural, and that is also revealing to you what is their unnatural condition, and it is demon possession. That's demonic pacing, and it's occurring under the guise of what is traffic. Those are demons that are pacing, and they're driving under a light source. Of all, it's not over the Ovid Family Community Library, as you saw on video at 5:45. While the Ontario Police are flying directly over my head, that is remaining in alignment to my bedroom window after remaining all day over the property of Alvarado Gardens, where under no circumstances, even as you isolate the venue here, the crime scene here, where all 59 units filled with terrorists who are all going to federal prison, including those that are engaging in terrorism while working for a third-party company called Speaker Companies, and doing so with impunity, which is what you see Maria Solis Alvarez doing and what you see Carlo Lopez doing. That's the prosecution of Speaker Companies for workplace terrorism and harassment, while the light source is over Ovid Family Community Library, and it's over me here in Los Angeles. Okay, this is engaging in what is relevant to the entity that is sounding helicopter activity at the same time, and so that's why I'm capturing this video, because that's light activity that Aguilera of 1812 number 6 is engaging with her minor child. She's losing custody. This is demonic pacing, while Marina Davila is demonstrating what is ongoing impunity. She's going to federal prison. She's engaging in what is monitoring in concert with the demons that are crossing path on Alvarado Street. And while Maria Solis Alvarez, soon to be dismissed, with regard to what is being dismissed, as in she's going to federal prison, and there will be no Speaker Company's position for her. And you're talking about also being dismissed from this country. She's not even welcome in this country. This is a hollow zombie. If you look in her eyes, I gave you a close-up screenshot image of her face. You can see the demon possession on her face. She looks like a disturbed person. She's walking in with simultaneity to what I'm doing on my phone. The demon-possessed entity that's monitoring documentation, that's engaged in ongoing obsessive stalking, that is also hostile as I expose them, engages in what is more aggression, more criminal conduct, more directly incriminating activity with simultaneity to the entity that's flying over by helicopter. They literally provided that. This is no sun that's over Ovid Family Community Library at 215 East C Street. And there is no sunlight that's touching the property of Silverview Townhomes while you're looking at a demon stalking in the path with light activity. These are violent sex offenders, and this is a sex offense committed by an entire entity. You've seen the engineered light on my ceiling. You saw it drop down on my bed, and this is the light source that's already present while you're looking at light activity. And you're witnessing, as you're looking at this light source, you are looking at the evidence of the demon possession of all of that entity that is surrounded by insurmountable evidence and irreducible evidence of criminal conduct. okay? And there are no circumstances whereby I can make the people of the state exhibit their demon possession by virtue of driving by me and engineer light swiping all across buildings. That's also how you know what they are. They're demons, and the demon-possessed population in California are engaged in what is a matter of terrorism, and it shall serve for what is the substance of a federal prosecution. And you have what is a population, a very large amount of the people of the state are going to federal prison. A very large amount of these corrupt law enforcement agencies that are filled with the demon possessed, they're going to federal prison, and they will be permanently removed from law enforcement. And then you will be permeating the lives, because you have also a population that remains in custody of minor children that are being reared up in what is psychotic methods of learning how to target people, engaging with them for purposes of criminal conduct, for purposes of what is literally polluting the population, is what the people of the state are doing, while you are seeing them included in the criminal pattern of conduct, included in the sex offense, included in the ongoing engagement in what is contribution to their delinquency, while you see corrupt law enforcement agencies monitoring with minor children. Okay, that's Luke Powell, who's going to federal prison again. He can't get enough. He's going to, though. He's going to federal prison. You saw him engaging in lying in wait, sitting in his vehicle, while after this time, it was after 6 p.m., 6:36, which is again how you know the light source is right here, not over the Ovid Family Community Library. He was sitting in his truck, and then he drives off. He's monitoring again, and he's pacing, going to the dumpster and walking back. Okay, that's P.O.C. while the entity is amplifying plane activity. All you're looking at is ongoing impunity. This whole property is going to be emptied of all the demon-possessed third-party group stalkers, every single last one of them. And all of the children are going to be removed from Silverview townhomes. You're going to permeate the lives of the group stalkers living at the adjacent property. Okay, they're engaged in 24-hour surveillance that requires the inclusion of the federal government to permeate the lives of the terrorists in the state of California who are documented group stalkers, and the entire property of Silverview townhomes is documented accordingly. And they're engaged in surveillance in open view, and they've been doing that for a prolonged period of time, and that evidence remains on the record. No one's going to forget, and no one is going to be moved by their tears in federal court. No one is going to be moved by that. No one. The entity is engaging in what is impunity right now. This is what you're going to look at in federal court. It is currently 5:52 p.m. This is the maintenance of the light source. License plate 9FVE837. She's going to federal prison. She's exhibiting what is impunity, and she's group stalking with the LAPD, and she is going indeed to federal prison. She just added her name to the roster. Okay, she's engaged in what is criminal monitoring. She's doing so while the entity is amplifying helicopter activity, which is why I started this video. And she is present, engaging in what is impunity while she's pacing all around like a cockroach in the spirit that she is. And she's moving all around in the engineer light. There's no sunlight that's going to be over this parking lot. There's no sunlight that's going to be over this building, over this property, aiming through the closed blinds in my bedroom, the same apartment where I'm documenting a sunrise day in and day out, where the entity is maintaining a light source at 215 East C Street, where the entity is also, not coincidentally, but within the pattern of conduct, flying over my head, that is stalking me, group stalking with the people of the state in helicopters. And that's why Dominic Choi is fired. And every other corrupt law enforcement agency, their police chiefs are waiting to be summarily removed permanently from law enforcement. They will be fired while they are caught red-handed engaging in what is state terrorism, and it is not going to be tolerated in the U.S. It is currently 5:53 p.m. This is P.O.C.